ask is to be treated with respect. Well, how many times do I say I give what I get what I give? And so here we are. We're going to do our shows because we're contractually obligated to be here. Yes, so the cat's out of the bag. I guess we're talking about it. We weren't supposed to, just as a heads up. We were only given a few hours notice, but we weren't told any details. We were promised that no details would be released. We didn't even know who was taking our place in the lineup. Just that it was going to be announced that new show was being added. Unbeknownst to us, the Hollywood Reporter, of course, had all the details. So it was a little embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. I've been in this business for 20 plus years. I've been treated poorly a couple times. This didn't feel good.
Good for Michelle Beadle. I will always respect someone who is willing to speak their mind. I'll always respect someone willing to speak the truth, not her truth. There's no such thing as her truth or his truth. There's just the truth. But Michelle Beadle, she knew exactly what she was doing when she unleashed this tirade last week. You heard her say, we're going to show up because we are contractually obligated. Well, now you're not contractually obligated because SiriusXM has decided to fire Michelle Beadle, which I think is exactly what she wanted. And I don't blame her. I'm not going to sit around for the next 3 months and be a placeholder for Stephen A. Smith. I'm not going to continue busting my ass, building my audience, only for some other doofus to come in and take over. If I was Michelle Beadle, I would have done the exact same thing. You've already disrespected me by not telling me that you're giving away my time slot. Not only are you giving away my time slot, you're giving it away to someone that Michelle Beadle considers to be an enemy. So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be happy every day while you're waiting on Stevie to show up. If you don't want me, fire me. And that's exactly what happened. SiriusXM fired Michelle Beadle. Late last week, Stephen A. Smith claimed that he didn't know about any of this. He didn't know that SiriusXM failed to tell Michelle Beadle that he was taking her time slot. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but with their extensive history, it's hard not to imagine that Stephen A. Smith, at minimum, isn't enjoying this. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. I'm sure you guys remember the Ray Rice situation, the elevator footage from back in 2014. At the time, Stephen A. Smith got on social media and said some things that Michelle Beadle didn't like. According to Michelle Beadle, they were piggish. Translation, toxic masculinity. 11 years ago, Stephen A. didn't have the clout that he's got at ESPN today. Michelle Beadle made such a big deal about his comments, ESPN decided to suspend him for 2 weeks. Fast forward 11 years later, Stephen A. just so happens to take her time slot on Mad Dog Sports Radio, a station that is coincidentally owned by Chris Mad Dog Russo, who just so happens to make $10,000 every week by appearing on First Take. Who gave him that job? Stephen A. Smith. 3 days ago, Michelle Beadle gave an interview to Front Office Sports. An interview that, combined with her on-air tirade, got her fired. During the interview, she unloaded on Stephen A. Smith. I don't respect him. I don't respect his work. I don't respect him personally. He doesn't like me. Plus, he's got a receding hairline, and that really bothers me. She also claimed that Stephen A. gets a lot of things wrong. She wasn't talking about his opinions. Michelle Beadle was talking about factual information that he gets wrong. But she said something that caught my attention, and it's what we talked about a little bit last week. Charles Barkley initially started this narrative a couple of months ago. Michelle Beadle claimed that Stephen A. gets factual information wrong because he is spread so thin. Thing is, she's probably right. Like I said last week, I admire Stephen A's work ethic. This dude is an absolute machine. He's acting in television shows. He's on ESPN damn near every hour of every day. He's doing his show on YouTube 3 days a week, making appearances on Fox News and News Nation, home of Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C. Last month, he did a live special with Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly. And now he's launching 2 new shows on satellite radio. I don't know when the dude sleeps. Maybe he doesn't sleep. Maybe he doesn't need it. But when you're spread that thin, it is damn near impossible to keep up with everything that you're covering. I make 3 videos a day, 3 separate topics every day between politics and sports, cable news and sports media. Trust me when I tell you, it is a lot to keep up with. 1 minute I'm researching and talking about CNN or the LA riots. The next I'm reading and talking about Angel Reese and the WNBA dump. Take my daily schedule, multiply it times 100. That's what Stephen A. Smith is trying to do. I know he's got a team. I assume he probably has writers, researchers, but he's the one on camera. He's the one behind the microphone. He's the one last night who couldn't remember the name of Aaron Wiggins, even though he was in the building watching the NBA Finals in person. Malika Andrews had to correct him live on the air. If I remember correctly, I want to say that his show on Mad Dog Sports Radio is going to be 2 hours long, which means 2 hours every morning on First Take, 2 hours on radio, 3 hours or so a week on YouTube, plus the other show he's launching with Sirius on political and social commentary. It's going to be interesting to see how it works out, or if it works out. I like Stephen A. Smith. I like a show on YouTube, but I'm wondering if he is reaching a point where he's watering himself down. MTV did this a couple of years ago with The Challenge. They started doing all these spinoffs. Challenge went from being on once a year to having spinoffs every month of the year. It failed. The product was watered down. Is the same thing happening with Stephen A. Smith? You tell me. Also, do you think he intentionally took this time slot from Michelle Beadle? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the main channel.